Administrator, Mrs. Lepak is here, and Attorney Dempsey Solicitor is here.
Thank you, Mr. Alden. We all stand for a pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we just stand for a second and bow our heads for a moment of silence for 17 people that were killed, Bartlett, outside of Fort Lauderdale. And also, we can say a prayer for Mr. Butler's son, Mike, who had a catastrophic injury. We're working with Dunmore Borough to keep in our prayers. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to announce that there was an executive session immediately following the work session on Wednesday, February 21st, 2018, for personnel and legal matters. Okay, we're going to open up for public discussion, please. Please go up and state your name, please, your address. Hi, Dan.
John Mead, 1709 Quincy Avenue, Dunmore. I'm sure there's a lot of other people we're going to ask about tonight, but just in case. In light of the recent events in Florida, and even here on our campus, I guess the question I'd ask is, what type of preparedness plans do we have? I know we practice, we hear about the drills, but it seems like it's on everybody's mind. So if someone could fill us in.
Well, John, I know this is a big performance attention here, so if anybody else has to come up and talk on that thing, then we'll defer to Mr. Marichak and Mr. Dempsey, instead of doing it on an individual basis. Okay? So if anybody else wants to come up and speak about the safety in school, certainly, and then Mr. Marichak will address it, Mr. Dempsey. Thank you.
My name is Greg Beater, 1213 East Stringer Street. In light of the message we got the other day, I asked my daughter a simple question: what have you done at school? Have you done a drill? Do you know what the drills are? Nothing. So she's in first grade. I have a son in kindergarten. Kind of a big deal right now, especially since I've worked at the Scranton School District. I can tell you the preparations when I was there were kind of iffy. I no longer work there, but I just want to know my kids are safe here.
I will say, Mr. Beard, that we have directed, we have by school code fire drills every month, but we also have an additional drill every month as well in the Dunmore Elementary Center. I know, as like last week, we had a shelter in place. I checked with Mr. Quinn. I know that for sure.
Okay.
We've had it every month.
Okay. Hey, can I?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so then my question becomes, what precautions do you have then? She's never said anything to me. It seems like it's a big deal. When I was in a school district, you could tell the kids understood what was happening. Even the little ones, they made a big deal of what was going on. They understood that they were taking part in something big. So if I ask her, and I ask my son, I understand they're young, but they say nothing about it. Fire drills, I get, but I remember working at the school district, they did it once. And this was 2014, 2015 school year. So it was right on the heels of another shooting, another big shooting. So it's just something that concerns me when she says nothing about it. And it's not like she's doesn't pay attention. It's a huge concern. Not only that, when we send a text message or a message home, a call, and it says, hey, there was an incident, but it's dealt with, it's handed over to the police. That has no information to it. It's very much, it's like the least amount of details you could give to get somebody worried enough that they need to call in or do something. But most people probably won't because they're, I don't know, either too busy or don't care or think it's just something that should roll off their backs. like the message the other day was just enough to be like, well, what the hell is going on? Is there something that happened during school, after school? Is it a comment on a bus? Is it a comment at home? You know, what's actually happening? Should I be concerned? Should I not be concerned? Most people aren't going to care. But this is Dunmore. 90% of the homes have a gun in them. You know what I mean? If we're a hunting area, everybody has a gun. And all it takes is one person to do something wrong. Across the U.S., one person to do something wrong, and it's in the news. It's a popular topic. I just want to know about it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anyone else?
Celia Mika, filmmaker,
Please.
1733 Adams in Dunmore. Just a few things. I wanted to suggest grade by grade assemblies so that the kids can get their minds at ease. You can discuss safety and let them feel better about themselves, or about safety, and let them ask questions, put their minds at ease, and also maybe parents information so that we know protocol and stuff like that. Also, with regard to like walking into schools, I know you can get closed in, but once you're in, you can do anything. Like you're right in the hallways and go to schools. I mean, they buzz me in because they know me, but they don't know. I mean, I could be carrying something and stuff like that. That's it. Just, the methods. And it's not enough money. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Migo.
Yep.
Is anybody else, Mayor?
Tim Burke, 129 Cherry Street, Dunmore. Guys, I'm just here, police department, just to talk over things with you guys, so we're all on the same page. We all have the same worries with council and myself, and the police have all the same worries with the board. We're here for that reason, and we're from you guys to speak up. And I really appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Anybody else? Sure.
On the 1709 Quincy. I just want to say, from my own kids who are a junior and senior in high school, they went on a trip to New York with the drama club. And before they went, my husband was questioning them about if there was a van that was mowing through people, or if you heard a loud noise, what would you do? He was kind of prepping them before they went to NYC, which is sad. But he was asking them questions, and they both said we would run, hide, fight. And it was like a mantra that they had in their mind, and neither one of us had taught them that. So they had heard it here at school. So I know that the high school students have had some type of training this fall. I don't know what it was or what it entailed, but it was stuck in their mind. So I would like to know what that curriculum was. If there's like a PowerPoint that goes with it or worksheets for the parents, I think it would be helpful for parents. I also think there probably should be a curriculum for all the grade levels. I don't know if the elementary schools and middle schools did that or not. I'm not sure. But I think an elementary curriculum appropriate for someone in kindergarten, first grade, as Mr. Veter said, would be good.
Thank you. Anybody else on the safety? Mr. Mayor, Jack, you want to comment?
Yeah. First on the message yesterday, it was done not to be smart, but we've been through the trainings. It's got to be vague for several reasons. We probably could have disclosed a little bit more, but what the situation was is a comment was made about a shooting, and the police jumped out. The kid was walking out of the school when it took place. And the police got there along with our administration and handled it so that to make sure that there was no means of carrying out that threat. And it's a tough decision to make as to how much you want to give because of we don't want to cause mass hysteria. We don't want to sound coy like there's something else going on, but we wanted to let the community know that there was. The kids will get this information out quicker than anybody. We wanted to kind of nip it in the bud. It was not to be smarter to make parents concerned. In the future, if ever there's a situation where there's information you're supposed to call my office and we'll handle it that way. It's tough to make a broad statement, is what I'm saying. So it would not be upset families or anything like that. It's to let the information be known and attempt to do right now is explain our philosophy and what we've done in the school districts inside Medford. First thing we did is we looked at all of our plans as I transitioned into the superintendency, and I worked with the Dunmore Police Department, I worked with our administration, and it had extensive training through the Spring Police Department, Pennsylvania State Police, the FBI, some of the Army. We had our new armor, we had some trainings over there. And the first thing we did was we took our large-scale plans that were developed and we tweaked them to modernize them and to make sure that they were the best options that we had. And we developed a flow chart and a flip chart that's on every one of in our classrooms near the telephone. And it's a flip chart that has a severe weather drill, fire drill, shelter in place, all these different scenarios that we have and we ask the teachers to become familiar with. And as you flip it on the different drill, it gives you the instructions. The instructions in some cases are vague. The instructions in some cases are very detailed. There's phone numbers, there's all kinds of, there's a map of the school. It's something that is there for the teacher when an emergency hits, and sometimes people lose their heads. It's there, it's ever present, but it also puts the idea in the teacher's mind. As unpleasant as it may be sometimes, there's resources here. Make sure you know what's going on, and even though you may lose your mind, you know that it's right there when you need it. Also, we at the same time put together a checklist that was laminated and corresponds with our overall major safety plans, as well as this tool, and this goes into our sub-packets. This goes into, it's distributed every year at the opening in service, and it's hung there as well. I'm going to defer in a couple of minutes to Officer Springer, who is our point man on campus for our safety plans and all our different scenarios. But one of the things, some of the things I want to mention is we've taken action as an administration to ensure the safety. One of the things that we did that we took heed as an administration and the board is that we did close the trail. There's no other scenario that I know of in America where anybody could get that close to our campus. So that was one of the reasons with these types of things in mind. And 99.9% of the people who enjoy and use that trail are not going to do anything. Don't even want to think about the other 0.01% of the people. We had some training, and we will always have ongoing training through Officer Springer, who is our liaison with the Lackawanna County SWAT team. And this is me. I think this is what you were referring to. Half of an in-service day, and I wish it was 3 in-service days. We brought the Lackawanna County SWAT team into the Dunmore High School and brought all of our teachers in here and did a live shooter drill. And if you've been part of it, I've been part of the different districts, it is as scary as could be because you hear the echoes of guns going off down the hallways and so on and so forth, but it puts our teachers in a more prepared state of mind. We took some heat from some teachers because it was very brutal to watch and experience, to look at different photo excerpts and audio of things that have gone on in this country. But we said to them, we know we're not looking to upset you. We need to have you in a frame of mind so that you could act and save and protect as many people as possible because it could happen someday. We pray that it doesn't, but it could. That training will be ongoing. We constantly are experiencing trial and error in certain things. I'm going to give you some examples. Probably 3 weeks ago, we had an ex-student come to the door and a kid, one of our students, popped it open and let him in. It happens. Our job is to be diligent and to constantly remind our kids that if I'm at the door, if Mr. Hopkins is at the door, the police officer is at the door, you can't kick that door open. So we place signs, and I constantly walk around and we're checking doors. But the situation is not always good. I'll give you an example. Today, we had most of our elementary students outside because of the great weather. That creates a different scenario. We have as one of our scenarios a reverse evacuation. So what I'm saying is that we're trying to be as diligent as possible, always be in a training mode for this type of situation. Our plans are all contingency-based, or they're based on a scenario of if X happens, here's what we're going to do. We don't disclose those publicly because for obvious reasons. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Officer Springer, and I'll stick around at the end if there's anything that's some suggestions. One last thing I want to say is You know, there's always in the trainings I've been through, there's a dichotomy between fight or flight, shelter in place or run. And again, that depends upon what the situation is. One of the things we're looking at is we're going to have a device that's going to be homemade, placed into our doors so that we have a double reinforcement. If somebody doesn't have a lock, we're working on that. I don't want to go into detail anymore because we don't want to let those things out of the back. But there's other areas that we've looked at. We found some vulnerability that we will be working on in terms of physical structure to try to be as safe as possible. With that being said, Officer Springer, our school resource officer.
Hello, everybody. I wish I was here to talk about something else, but unfortunately, this is the world we live in. I'm going to send this up to you guys. What I'm doing is I'm creating a binder for the police departments, the fire departments, and most importantly, the ambulances who never seem to find the door we tell them to come to. It's got maps. It's got a complete listing of our teachers' phone numbers, as well as the extension numbers, so if we have to contact them from outside the building, we know how to do that. So you'll see the stuff that's laminated, that's stuff that we've gotten through, and the stuff that isn't laminated, that's ongoing. I'm hoping by the end of the year to have this, and so our guys have that.
I'm going to interrupt. This is the area from which our plans originated. Not all coordinates.
So just to answer your question, this is me. One of the things that Tom Richardson and I were down here and we did this training with him in the cafeteria. And to me, that's my absolute nightmare scenario is I have a problem in the cafeteria. How do I get them out? But as part of that training, we talked about this isn't just school. This is, you go to college, if you're in a restaurant, if you're in a city someplace, what do you do? Because it's not natural for someone to fight. Like that's we have to train our guys to fight, you know, and and it's funny when you see the rookie guys because they're real sheepish, you know, and then they get mid-career and they're like, then they get to be my age and you start to get sheepish again. but that was we did that. We talked about one fight height, and that was I had kids crying in that training, and I think I was a little emotional too because what we did, and I think I'm extreme until I go with the SWAT team and they flashbang me. I owe you. The flashbang is a big, loud explosive, and thank you, my guy. So, but what we did is we had a piece of tape. I had a roll of tape, and I walked in and I went, bang, you're dead, bang, you're dead, bang, you're dead. And they knew it was going to happen, and I was still able to hit 13 or 14 every time we did it. So that was eye-opening for them. Like, so what do? If I'm caught at the door and someone's shooting? Do I stand there and be shot? Do I try and get to cover? Or last case scenario, fight. So run, fight, hide. So I'm actually proud of them for remembering that.
Thank you. Very well.
So, and when we do this stuff, one of the things that I like to do, and I got to get their permission, and I suspect I will because they've never said no when it comes to safety. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for that. I would like to bring in blanks at some point when we do one of our drills so these kids hear this. Because what you hear on TV or see on TV is different than what you're going to hear inside the school. What's very loud outside a classroom right here may be barely audible up around the corner, you know? And I've been to those trainings where they call it STIM, where they're stimulating, tap, tap, tap. And when it's far away, you're kind of like, you don't really know what it is, even though you know what they're going to do. So just to give you a quick background, Tommy's my partner in this. Tom, stand up. He's a team leader with the SWAT team. We're both NTOA, National Tactical Officer Certified Instructors. We have many different various instructor level courses. Both of us are federally certified to teach the active shooter. So that's what we do. I focus on the first 5 minutes, and Tommy focuses on everything else. So that being said, we're not just making this stuff up. These are nationally followed standards that we're bringing to the district when we do these trainings. So what we do just very briefly, so you have a peace of mind, there are plans in place. My job is to neutralize the threat. That's what I'm going to do. And we used to have, it's evolved over the years, so what we train our guys to do now is if there's a response necessary, the police officers are coming into the school. We're not going to wait outside for teams to arrive. As they come in, they're going to come in and they're going to start looking for clues to where the bad activity is happening. Senior guy arrives on scene, who on day shift will be Captain Bart. His job is to set up an incident command post, okay? We don't have any designated staging areas for this type of event because we can't determine where it's going to originate from or where it's going to end. And it could start here and then at the other end of the hall or end on the second floor. So that's why we can't. So his job as the incident commander with the fire chief and our maintenance guys is, I'm sorry if I'm turning my back on you guys. His job is to set up a command post. And then he is going to establish communications. We're going to do that by our Global Connect. That list that I've compiled there, the impetus of that list with the teachers was so I had all their cell phone numbers. We're going to create an emergency group text system so we can text just to the teachers. Myself, Mr. Marichak, the chief, will all be able to do that. So technology is great when it works in your favor. So we'll establish communications through the command post and the communication process. We're going to tell you where you can go to find out where your kids are at or what's the status of your kids. All that stuff is built into the plan, and I hope we never have to use that plan. Beyond that, we also have to think about things like the press. We have officers on scene because whether we like it or not, you'll have kids, if there's ever an occasion, an incident, kids will be running out whether we want them to or not, especially under this new run, hide, fight thought process. So, and all that's great that we have these plans in place. And I have good police officers. This kid, he's not a kid anymore, he's a man now, but he was a kid when I met him. He's as good as they come. And I'm so proud of the career you've had. And I've been really successful with the chief. Like last summer he called, he goes, "Why are you in your office?" I said, "I'm working on emergency response plans." "Okay." But, it works. So the fact that we have these plans and we do the drills, that's great. But the ultimate goal, like yesterday, this program, what we do between the school board, Mr. Marichak, Mr. Hopkins, and myself, and the guys on the road, and the chief, it worked flawlessly. We got a report, we hunted it down, we identified that we were able to assess the threat, and then we moved on. And that's the way the program is really supposed to work. We're working hand in hand. And it's not just me, it's you guys, because if I didn't have people from the community calling me, if Chief didn't have his phone blowing up every time something happened, then we don't get to the part of where we got to yesterday, where we were able to mitigate the threat rapidly. Within minutes, we were able to begin the threat evaluation process. So, and that's a community partnership between the school board, the police department, but most importantly, you guys. Because when you guys start acting like paranoid, like police brains are, and you start going, "Hey, I think there's a problem here," that's when we're effective as a police department. I put on Facebook the other day, there's nothing too small. And that's the honest to God's truth. There's nothing too small because the small stuff is what eliminates the big stuff. And every kid has to have a voice. Sometimes I'm a mouthpiece for a kid and I know I'm being manipulated, but it has to happen that way, because we have to, it's a process and we have to vet stuff out. So we're here, I'm here, Mr. Marichak is here, Mr. Hopkins is here, Mrs. Hart, you're just doing a terrific job over here this year. But we're here for the small stuff. That's what eliminates the big stuff. Can I ever say, by chasing down every call, I'm going to stop a school shooter? No. But we can stop a lot by listening to what people have to say to us. So I thank you for your time. I know I spoke maybe a little longer than I should have, but if you have any, I'll be around later if you guys have any questions. Okay?
Thank you. Maybe that's
Just one item. Obviously, one of the issues that came up in the Florida situation where they used the fire alarm to get everybody out of the school, and we were training people to stay. So one of the things we are looking at is redoing our fire alarm system. We're looking at that. So what we try to do is look at every situation and see what we can do to be a better school district and better protecting the kids. And that's all we can do, because if somebody wants to come in here and harm somebody, I mean, there's so many doors and windows, and the kids are outside all the time, you just can't prevent it all. But I think this board is acting proactively to try and prevent these things from occurring. So I thank everybody for their help on this.
Thank you, President. Yeah, Billy, just to comment on, that was a great presentation. Tommy, and the mayor's here, I'm glad, and that was, you were right, everything what you said. This is a great community we have here, both the school district and the borough itself. We certainly don't want anything to happen to any of our kids, any of our administrators, anybody. This is too good of a tackle. We have to work in conjunction, which we are. And we have a proactive administration. Mr. Marichak, the two principals, and the vice principals, and young ladies I see sitting out there, if you hear something, you see something, say something to somebody on the social media, because little things, like you said, Billy, they can escalate to be big things. And we're here to be proactive. We're here to help you, all of us, 9 of us in our administration. If you see something, you don't get a hold of Mr. Marichak, or you don't get a hold of one of the principals, call us, and we'll get it to the proper people. We don't want to see anything happen, but we want to be proactive, which we are, before to get a little bit ahead of the curve. But thank you, everybody, for coming. And it's a great thing that, we really care about our community. Again, I personally thank you for coming.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, real quick, if I could just kind of piggyback off your words again. John, Cecilia, Holly, Mayor Burke, Craig, thank you for coming and voicing, your concerns. This is probably one of the most important things all of us on this stage and educators need to worry about. Every day, this is in the back of our minds. So I think as a school and a school district, we need to communicate to our students, our children, about the importance of, as we said, telling us the small things, because the small things do add up, and just keep communicating to our teachers, the principals, and also to the parents. And I'd also like to thank the Dunmore Police Department. I think a presence is important. I had the opportunity to work at a high school and a middle school, and a lot of the times our SROs were off on trainings or off on whatever, but it's always nice to know when Officer Springer's not here, we have a backup plan with another officer. So I think that is so critical, that if we could keep that presence outside in the morning and at the end of school, having the Dunmore Police Department here is monstrous. So if we could always keep that. I know you can't be here every day, but if we have somebody as a backup plan, I think that's great. So thank you.